What's going on, people? It's your man the YB. Once again, big shout out to my darky 31BT for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, the Pac-Man, 50-year-old, long in the tooth, versus Avatar's Mario Barrios. Let me tell you something now, man. I thought the fight was close. I wasn't mad with a draw. I was a bit shocked though, because PBC, they're down bad right now. I couldn't understand why Pacquiao, even at this point, Barrios isn't like a Tank Davis. I'd get why Tank might get a close decision with Pacquiao, because Tank probably does better numbers at this point, given he's younger and there's more upside in his career. What is he, 30 odd? In this fight though, this shows there can't be that much rigging in sport, right? Because it was a close fight. I wasn't mad with Pacquiao winning by a round, Barrios winning by a round, or a draw. But still, I actually think, if you know this channel, you'll know I don't score fights in a corny way, a low-T way. I take into account the odds, and Pacquiao was a massive underdog. I actually had, I think there was 8-1. This is the thing as well. It's crazy scam, isn't it? Right, in a close fight, Pacquiao 8-1. I managed to find Pacquiao on points. Can you believe that? 8-1, and it's a draw. That's unbelievable, man. So it's probably more to do with them trying to scam me than it is anything else. It was only a fiver, but still, yeah. What are the chances of that? Pacquiao's in a close fight, all the marketability Pacquiao has, and they give it to Barrios. He don't sell no tickets, man. Conor Benn versus Pacquiao, that would have been a big fight. They were trying to set up, right? And Barrios retained his belts. But putting that to one side, Pacquiao was a big underdog. I think he was 2-1 under. Some places 3-1 under. And he's in the fight. Yeah? So in my book, Barrios is the young man. He didn't look like the young man. Pacquiao looked old. Does that make sense? He's not like he used to be 10 years ago or whatever. His feet are slower. His timing's not quite there. His accuracy's not quite there. I believe that's a function of his feet being slower. Pacquiao was falling just a bit short, even though he's always been a small welterweight. When he was in there with Furman's got much better feet than than Barrios. But Pacquiao's feet being more explosive. Pacquiao was an explosive fighter. He wasn't the best technically. That's how he got caught by Marquez and whatnot. But it was the explosion. He'd jump in and put 6 or 7 together. Now, he's lost the explosion in his feet. He's lost the explosion in his hands. And combining it together, I didn't even see one. He was renowned for 6-7 punch combos. We only got 2s and 3s. Having said that though, he's a 50-year-old man. You'd expect that. At the same time, Barrios almost showed a bit too much respect. Being the younger guy, yes, Pacquiao's tricky. But Barrios really, being the favourite, being the younger guy, it should have been a clear Barrios win. So there is an element. I do probably think this was a robbery, to be honest, based on that. You can't come in there, the young guy, the champion, and go life and death with a 50-year-old man. Now, some people say, well, Bernard Hopkins did it. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. Yeah? If an old man gets in there, it's a bit like, let's say Mike Tyson had won 4 rounds against Fake Paul. Listen, if Mike Tyson had won 3 rounds against Fake Paul, he won in my book. If I was a judge, I'd say Mike won. End of the day. If you can't look decent, if you can't clearly win 7-8 rounds against a 46-year-old man, he's been out of the ring like 5 years as well. He's been in the ring for a minute. I'm not going to sit here and lie and make out Pacquiao's back. Pacquiao looked good for a 46-year-old, is what I'd say. He's not back though. And I pray to God, really, they don't try and make the Conor Benn fight, to be honest. I'm not saying Conor Benn would plaster Pacquiao. It'd be good, to be fair. It might be an alright fight. It might be worth watching. It's a shame he didn't have the belt though. They might as well have given the belt on that performance from Barrios. Yeah, they might as well have given the belt to Pacquiao. At least we've got then, because what's Barrios gonna do? Yeah, if Barrios is going life and death with Pacquiao, we might as well have got to see Pacquiao and Ben for a belt. Because who wants to watch Who wants to watch Ben and Barrios for a belt? No one wants to watch that. It would be funny if Pacquiao could punch up Ben. That would be funny. If Ben knocks out Pacquiao, that would be quite sad though, wouldn't it? Maybe it's for the best. I'd rather Ben knock out Barrios than Pacquiao. And it would probably be more legitimate for Ben's career. Beating up he's not that old. 46 ain't 56. I'm trying to think historically. It's quite rare though, isn't it? You're in the last percentile of boxers' ages at 46. There's not a whole textbook of people who have pulled it off. It's few and far between. And Barrios, for me, I never was that impressed with him. And even less so now, to be fair. I've got no idea what these Las Vegas judges doing, man. In a close fight, you give it to Barrios. Come on, man. Do us a favour here. Do us a bit of a favour for the masses. Pacquiao deserved this win, if I'm honest. Barrios, he looked like he was cacking his pants most of the way through the fight. I think it was the last 3 rounds. Pacquiao, probably because of his age. Barrios got... I thought Barrios started well. It was all close though. There was no runaway rounds for me. If anything, I think Pacquiao had the better winning rounds in the middle of the fight, like 6, 7, 8 or something like that. Those were the... in them... Quite, what's the word? Contradictory. I thought the first 3 rounds, were probably Barrios. And I was thinking to myself, well, it's not going to get no better for Pacquiao now, right? Because he's older. He actually had, it was like 5 to 8 or something like that. The last 2 or 3 were probably Barrios's. But Pacquiao didn't look bent out of shape. And most of the time, Pacquiao was the one pressing it, which is kind of shocking. When you think about when Pacquiao 4 or 5 years ago fought, what's his name? Ugas. Ugas was on Pacquiao. Let me check quickly. Actually, I think Ugas knocked him down, but Ugas was putting belt to arse, if I remember correctly. Ugas, and it shows you to some extent that 147. It's not really now. Boots has gone in particular. You don't have the Barrios wouldn't be a champion when you had the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans, the Errol Spence, the Terence Crawfords knocking around. No way. Where's Pacquiao? Oh, Barrios lost to Ugas though. I mean, Barrios beat Ugas. That's crazy. Ugas down in round 2 and 12. Oh, he's finished. He's finished. Errol Spence finished him. That's for real, for real. Errol Spence finished him. Where's the Pacquiao fight here? No, it was... Okay. Ugas didn't put him down, but I remember watching that fight and thinking, oh, Ugas, there was a level of punishment there, I felt. Yeah? So if Pacquiao only lost by a round in that fight with Ugas, from what I remember, there's no way he lost by a round in this one. He won this fight. Sorry. And you can argue, well, there's no favours for A sides. There is when you're 46, man. They're talking about doing Pacquiao and... Sorry, they're talking about digging up Klitschko and bringing him into the heavyweight division. Well, if you can do that, yeah. If Klitschko, let's say they were saying if Dubois had to beat Usyk, they were going to do Klitschko versus Dubois. Yeah? Let's say Klitschko got in there and Klitschko won 4 or 5 rounds. He beat Dubois, right? You got to just say that. There's no way a 28-year-old man or however old Barrios is in this case should be having a look. He was having a look. He should have been all over him, really. Which is a credit to Manny that he wasn't, but it's also... This makes... Barrios didn't take it, for me. He didn't keep his belts. He shouldn't be going life and death with an old man. End of the day, man. So for me, Pacquiao got robbed. And I'm not really sure where he goes from here. Ben's that kind of guy, though. If there's talk that Eubank won't be fighting Ben in the rematch, but Ben's that kind of guy who... And I'd probably do it too, man. Yeah, but still, he's that kind of guy who... He's got a bit of Jake Paul TikTok about him. You see what I mean? He cares more about big fights than... And again, I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same, but I think even before... Pacquiao hasn't had a belt for years. And about a year ago, they were saying... Before the Eubank fight was made, Eggy Hearn was saying, we want to do the Pacquiao fight anyway. So nothing's really changed. If anything, whilst it would have been better for Pacquiao to have a belt, they might even now be saying, whoop-de-whoop, this is legitimised Pacquiao. He had a close, some people think he won, fight of Barrios, a world title holder. So we'll fight him now, and we'll knock him out. And we'll show Barrios up. And we can always... Barrios ain't going nowhere as such. The 147-pound division's more or less wide open. I think Devin Haney might be stepping up there now to fight Brian Norman, but on that side of the street, where Barrios is at, is wide open. So Conor Benn could beat Pacquiao and then fight Barrios. That's not going nowhere. Pacquiao might be going somewhere. Pacquiao's coming back for the bread. I believe he loved the gambling. That's what he loved. Yeah, he can't get off the table. So he made probably 100 mil or 2, or probably 2 actually. I think he made 150 from the Floyd fight. So he's made 200 mil in his career, but them Las Vegas tables, man, they'll be in your pocket. So he's got to come and fight now. So he wants to Conor Benn fight at 147. What big names are there? Devin Haney's not a big name, and he's too young, and he's too faffy. There's no way Pacquiao beats Devin Haney at this point. No way. He'll just stink the place out. It'll look worse than the Ramirez fight, right? But the Benn fight in the UK with Turkey, if he wants to get on it, does Turkey want to see an old man back in the ring? Well, Turkey was talking about Klitschko and Dubois. So what's the difference? They could put it on the... You could have Jake Paul versus AJ, and then Conor Benn versus Pacquiao. Just do a bit of a stupid card type thing. Yeah? But yeah, fair play to Pacquiao. He looks solid in there for what he's worth. But Barrios, no good. No good, man. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Johnny. Bye.